to the docks. Let's find us some wenches!
So what would you like me to show you? The men or the women? Or some of both, if you prefer.
This part's great. It reminds me of the scene in Enter the Dragon when Williams is trying to select one of Han's ladies.
You'll pay up front 40 silver. I'm getting tired of throwing soldiers off the pier for forgetting their coin.
I should mention, my character was sent in here to clean out the brothel, and he decided, of his own free will, to partake in the festivities. I'm sorry, if I've missed anyone, please understand, the programmers only allow me to select one of you at a time.
Fell me like the Darkspawn, and make inroads in the south.
Why bother washing off the blood from the people that he slaughtered earlier? How is it that in every role-playing game my character always ends up in the tavern or the brothel? Or both. Usually killing everyone. Well, probably because that's a lot more exciting than just trying to run around and talk to a bunch of wizards.
Why do you fight? You deserve more. You deserve a rest.
How dare you speak to me like that? I'm a Grey Warden, and you're ugly. This is Dragon Age Origins for the PC, PlayStation 3, and this version here is the Xbox 360. Unintentionally, that rhymed. This is a large game to squeeze into a 7-minute review, so I'll just cut to the chase. Giant RPG adventure game where you are one of the last Grey Wardens fighting the Blight, bringing down the Archdemon, trying to unite the worlds of men, elves, and dwarves. I made the mistake of choosing to play as an elf in this game. I named my guy Dr. 8-Ball, but he's like the poor half-cousin of the actual Dr. 8-Ball from the Sims 3 review. The star of this game is actually Robostella, my war dog, who wins just about every fight for my group, because the rest of my team is a bunch of pussies.
Don't be long. The children will want to kiss you goodnight.
I will be but a moment, my pet. You are intruding upon a loving, intimate moment, and I dislike disruptions.
What was that?
That was an example of a cutscene and the dialogue user interface. Here's an example of some more fighting, where every one of my characters will get killed off except Robostella, who once again saves the day. Dragon Age Origins is from the popular BioWare and Edge of Reality, published by EA. And while this isn't the most stylish fantasy adventure RPG out there, it gets the job done and has a compelling story. But don't expect to figure out what's going on anytime soon. This game is meant to take a lot of time. Squeeze the left trigger and this thing comes up. Robostella selects Scooby Snacks. And even though you can save frequently, I found that playing this game in small doses does not work well. You need to sit down and spend a few hours with Dragon Age Origins each time that you play. This game has a fairly traditional model of one major storyline and a number of optional side quests. Making decisions is a big part of this game, as are the side quests, because that's where you meet different characters who you can then recruit into your group. And it takes a while to figure out what each of the characters can do, and the best way to optimize their armor and equipment or magic spells and use them in your battle strategy.
Leave me alone with him. You were right. He can't be helped.
The decisions that you make have major influence in the direction of the storyline and how the other characters react to you.
You killed Connor. You killed him. A little boy. How could you do that?
So Alistair is upset with me because I killed some boy who was possessed by a demon, which wasn't even my fault because I actually hit the wrong button. But in order to smooth things out, I'm going to give him a bottle of cheap wine. Because we're best friends forever.
Is that for me? Really? Wow. Wow.
That went over well. While I don't find the cutscenes or the visual presentation of the game in general to be really exciting and groundbreaking, the voice dialogue and acting is quite good, which it has to be because there's a lot of it. And the combat in the game is okay. It's not a hack and slash brawler. There's actually quite a bit of strategy in Dragon Age Origins, and the menu interface in general is somewhat counterintuitive. It does take a while to get used to it. Playing this game is like the equivalent of somebody handing you the keys to a really powerful, out-of-control sports car. It will do a lot, but you have to learn how to drive it. At the beginning of the game, you create one main character. Then as you play, you add others to your party. Most of the time in combat, you can choose between any of your 4 active party members at a time. When you're not manually controlling them ahead of time, you can set their tactical approach to battle. So you can tell your mages to sit back and cast healing spells and then light everybody on fire. Things like that. So there's quite a bit of depth in the tactical approach to playing Dragon Age Origins. Not too much depth in the actual gameplay itself. And this is not the kind of game where it's like one giant open world that you just run around and have random monster encounters. It has a fairly linear storyline that you play through, and you'll enter a tower or a dungeon or a situation where you need to play your way through it and kill everybody or all the monsters on the way, and then have a giant battle or boss encounter at the end of it. And you do earn experience points for all of the things that you slay, and level each of your characters up, and gain new skills and magic spells and whatnot. Helm's Deep, anyone? Dragon Age Origins is a big game, and they make it even bigger with some downloadable content. Sometime after this review, I'll be reviewing Dragon Age Origins Awakening. This is one of those games that I don't think makes a great first impression. It took me a while to get into it, but once you get into Dragon Age Origins, it's hard to stop playing. Because the storytelling is pretty good, and you spend a lot of time with these characters, it's like you want to see them through to the end. And the interaction between them is interesting, because some of them don't get along, they don't like you, they do like you. Don't even touch this game unless you have a great many hours and days to spend on it. But if you do have the time for a giant adventure, and like what you see on screen here, then check it out. Dragon Age Origins.